Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel. Today here in Nurburgring, it is time for the Lotus Emira to go and do some laps. Now I've been quite surprised this weekend not to see another Emira out here, up to this point at least. We've been doing some laps with my Shelby GT500, but it's time now that this is also run in to put it through its paces, to join the Shmeemobiles having done a lap at the Nurburgring. Pretty much every car has to come here. It's a bit of a rite of passage. This thing is tiny. Of course, we've got the Supercharged V6, we've got a manual gearbox, rear driven. It's a format that should be right at home, especially considering that I opted with the spec of the Emira for the sport chassis, fitted with the Sport Cup 2 tyres as well. So everything as you'd kind of want to go and drive somewhere like the green hell. So let's get things prepared, lower the tyre pressure slightly, get ready to go out and do a couple of laps with the Emira and see how it stands up to the test of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Step one, tyre pressures. Always just want to lower them a little bit because you know by the time you've finished a lap at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, they are going to be a little bit over the top. These are actually slightly deflated already. I'll go a touch lower out of them. Obviously being a very light car, we can get away with some pretty low tyre pressures in here. If we're going to do a few laps, we'll need to adjust them slightly, but we'll get to that when we're out there. So we'll go 1.8 bar at the front, 2 bar at the back probably. Obviously we'll then need to re-inflate them, ready for some Autobahn driving a little bit afterwards. But we've got a fairly new set of tyres. We've got around 2,000 kilometers on the car now. So we're talking in the region of, what's that, 1,240 or so miles in total. So it's ready to be driven properly. It's been run in. The car doesn't need a running in oil change or anything like that. It's good to go. Obviously we've got the standard steel brakes. As I said, the optional Sport Cup 2 tyres, which were my choice because I love a day like today. It's exactly what a car like this is for. It's what we're going to do with it. It's what we're going to enjoy. So I think it should be all set up and ready to rock and roll in just a moment. Right, tyre pressures are ready. I'm absolutely filthy. The wheels are completely caked in brake dust, as you can probably imagine, because new after all and hasn't been washed while we've been on the road. But step in here, let me get this started. Sounds good. So we'll warm it up for a moment and then go join the queue to go out during Touristenfahrten on the Nordschleife. At this stage I should point out that I haven't really been driving this car myself on this trip at all. I've been driving the GT500 and then the Zenvo, but here we go, heading off. Obviously a manual. I've driven my 718 GT4 here when I had it, I've driven the GT8 here, I've driven all 3 of my different Focus RSs that I've owned, driven each one of them here. The thing with the Emira that you have to get used to is that you need a surprising amount of throttle pedal press to pull away. If you try and pull away just on the clutch, it doesn't really like you. You need a bit more than that, a little bit more to go. So this is obviously also the first time I've driven this car since it's been run in. Let's pop it down into sport mode. Obviously we will go up into track shortly as well. It's a fixed damper setup, so we have the fixed sport chassis as opposed to the tour chassis, which might be slightly better on the road, but I don't find this particularly intrusive as a road car, especially here where you have lovely tarmac, as we head out through Nürburgring and I just get myself comfortable and make sure everything is lined up exactly as I want it ready for this. It is TF, Touristenfahrten, on the Easter weekend. That means road rules apply, overtaking only on the left. Of course we might have some yellow flag zones, that kind of thing, as we make our way around, but so far so good, feeling comfortable. Bear with me, we'll take it easily for the first lap, build into it a little bit, and then get a bit more pace going as we make it onto lap 2 on a track that's hopefully not going to be too busy and hopefully going to be flawless in terms of the car and not throw any peculiarities at us. So let me just pop up various different things on the screen. I've got phone calls and we've got a little bit of traffic ahead of us. Tyre pressures, that's what I'd like to see. Keep that up and running. We've got some torque charts and things as well in the central screen, but otherwise, yeah, all feels pretty good. And I've got to stop doing that like check if a car is in neutral thing. It's really weird. I don't know why we all do that. Anyway, quick shuffle of the mirrors. Well, I don't know in this car with 400 odd horsepower if there's going to be more time looking at cars coming past us or cars that we are passing. That's what we're going to find out about very shortly. Up to the barriers we roll, surrounded by BMWs, Audis, perfect cars for this place. I have my card preloaded, topped up, give that a little tap. We are good to go. Window closed, card back in pocket. Let's squeeze out through here, thank you. Okay, first time I've ever driven this in anger since it's been run in is immediately out onto the Nordschleife. That's actually kind of cool, if I can say so myself. So, last little bit of traffic with the chicane, and then it'll be go time. I've got to learn the different settings and whatnot as we go. I'll let the guys ahead make their moves. Wearing gloves, because with Alcantara steering wheels, I always prefer that. First time I've revved it beyond 4,500 RPM, and it's making our way up towards Tiergarten. Oh, this should be a perfect driving experience. It already feels good. It already feels like it rides it well. Fast cars behind. I'm definitely going to be letting some people go through. Keeping right. Let's run over the curbs to let the BMW here go past us. There we go. That is set up as a proper ring weapon. Gonna let the next BMW go through as well, or not, he's sitting behind. I thought maybe he'd come through. As I get my bearings and get a little bit comfortable with what we're doing here. It is quite strange getting from one car to another. Obviously last lap's in the GT500 and immediately being like, yep, away we go, full throttle. Oh, there's something about the engagement of a manual, isn't there? And I tell you what, it makes you think a lot more about everything that's going on when you're not going at GT500 or supercar pace around here. You've just got a bit more time to see it all. Nearly missed the shift there. Okay. Definitely hear the wind noise at higher speeds. We've got a Porsche quick on our tail, let him go through. GT3 MR 991.2 as we all brake heavily into Nurburgring. Tell you what, it's very, very composed. Really, really nicely planted. And we're unleashed. Big old beastie RS6 that we're going to go around on the outside. That's always quite fun. As we come through some of these tighter sections, down to second gear. The grip is amazing. As we come back out up the hill, I bet the RS6 is going to go back past me here. I am foot flat. He's coming for it. I don't think he's quite going to get it. He's right behind me. It's so busy today. Oh, this is like, this car drives it so well. Out of style Strecker, back up towards the carousel. Behind the same BMW. Spent a lot of time behind this chap. God, that goes through there quite fast and quite well, has to be said. Through the carousel. Unleash out the other side, using all of the revs up towards 7,000. Through Pfifferman. Tell you what, this is so much more of a challenge than driving in the GT500. Nowhere nearly as fast around here, obviously, but so much more driver involvement, so much more work. It feels good, it feels planted, it feels composed. And I am loving it, absolutely loving it. As I'm gonna back it off now, knowing that we have some jams around towards the end. Built up a little bit of tyre pressure, actually surprisingly little, obviously quite a light car, so that plays a role in that. But whew, adrenaline is pumping. It was busy out there, very busy. But another Shmeemobile that has done its first Nürburgring lap, the Lotus Emira. We come back round to the gantry, only the last couple of corners I've gone a touch slower. while we let things cool down before we have the queue to exit. It's actually much smaller than it has been earlier today. Those guys enjoyed the drive. We've done a little bit of leapfrogging as we've made our way around, but we're going to go straight for another lap, straight away into the queue to go out again, because it's what you should do, right? You can't just settle at one lap. Now that I've got a bit of a feel for what this is about, we should go do it immediately, straight after one more. The fun perk of this is that you can actually go straight back through. There isn't a right-hand drive friendly ticket barrier here, but there is one on the left, so windows are up. We'll actually go up into track mode this time, so a double press of the mode selector. We're in track, thank you very much. Kind of merge and turn out into the chicane. It's kind of a cool little graphic I get now. It tells me my service due information, which I'm not going to lie is not particularly helpful right now. We've got trip info, destinations. Let's go with, there we go, G-forces, that looks cool. So out we head, second gear, and away we go. Wait for the supercharger, there we go. I like the way the whole dashboard illuminates to let us know it's time. The 718 GT4 chasing me down, of course a very close competitor to this. Oh, through the compression, 200 odd kilometers per hour. Thank you to the Seat, although I need to do the same to let the GT4 through, so let's do exactly that. Hover on the right, hover on the right. He hasn't gone past me yet. There we go. This will be quite fun actually, driving with the GT4. As we head down through here, use some of the curves. A little bit of traffic in front of us, but that, hey, keeps it interesting. Just going to squeeze through behind the GT4. Away we go. Slightly off camber, always got to watch out there. As we now come down to Nurburgring, heavy braking zone. Feeling that tyre squeal. Good speed through there. There's an impressive amount of grip. So we're now down to the foxhole. Oh, we've got a lot of traffic ahead of us, and I know it's going to be busy on the uphill, so let's just take it easy through here. Watching for the other cars around, and particularly the bikes. Always need to be double careful around bikes, completely different lines, different routes around the Nordschleife. Whole lot of tyre squeal coming out of this. This is a fun drive with the GT4. Down towards the miss hit, miss hit. Miss hit, miss hit, miss hit, miss. Don't go for a hit afterwards, or that would be a barrier. Now we come into the siphon. Slowest corner on the whole Nordschleife, down to second gear. So much more to do when you're in a manual through something like that. Now we come up the hill, out of Adenau, out of Breitscheid. I'm in third gear, perhaps second would have helped there, obviously, for the lower rev range. As we now make our way onwards and upwards, up to Stylestrecker. Got to watch out for the bikes here as well. As we all accelerate uphill towards the carousel. Are they going to go through the carousel or around the carousel? They're going to go around the carousel, so I can go through, ride those bumps, and away we go. Through YouTube corner, Brünchen. That was where the tyres were holding us, and you know what? I'm going to take it easy. I've never gone over the jump like that before, and heart racing. Okay. Oh my word, this thing inspires you to really get a move on. It's quite the drive. It is quite the drive. Maybe we'll pass this Audi here. Nothing behind us at the moment. It's all pretty easy and open as we go through little carousel. And out up towards Gulgenkopf from the end of the second lap. I am going to go for a third lap though. But that was certainly the adrenaline rush and a half driving this car. It's so much more of a workout when you've got to, you know, really cling on, push it through its paces and make the absolute most of it. Wowzers. Ooh, it's quite the traffic jam down there on the Dottinger Höhe. But we're about to go back under the gantry. The end of lap 2, after certainly one little moment there that I'm going to try and avoid next time around. It is time for lap 3. We are heading out, go through the chicane. Thank you very much. We seem to be surrounded by GT4s today. Being eaten up by GT4s. There's also a Manthey GT3 RS behind as well, so I think we know how that's going to go. Up ahead though, 325i. That'll be interesting. Anyway, out we go. Out of the chicane, foot down, up towards the bridge, ready to start lap 3 in Lotus Emira as we head through towards the first compression, where it has to be said the sport chassis in here really, really helps. It rides through this at 200 plus surprisingly smoothly. So now going very quickly into the first sections, into the first corners. I think we've got a full race spec E92 soon to come through as well, so I'll be prepared to let that go past. It's funny how much of a mix of cars you get here, but of course everybody is in town for one thing, to enjoy driving right on this famous bit of tarmac. Let's let him through on the inside. There we go. God, that looks like a monster. Very cool. All right, yellow flag. Take it easy. Hazards on. Okay, away we go. No having to worry about sound meters in this car. Of course, totally stock Emira. We're unleashed down towards Schwedenkreuz, but you can see that there are a lot of cars on the track in front of me, plus there's a Manthey GT3 RS, so right indicator on. Yup, that didn't take long at all. Oh gosh. Tight through Arenburg, on the exit. BMWs and Porsches are plenty, so we go down towards Vauxhall. So busy. We have literally found a gigantic pack of cars. This is why I've done quite a few laps today, just to make sure I've been able to make the most out of it. Bit of a sightseeing lap, tourist drives, hey? It's a public toll road. This is what you're supposed to do. Take it easily, enjoy the cruise, have some fun, but a little bit on the busy, chaotic end. So come up, out of Breitscheid, this time taking second gear. There we go, the extra revs helping, taking third. Will we catch the French BMW in front of us? I've just let the guy ahead pull away a little bit because I don't think he knew that we were right behind him. He certainly wasn't making it very easy for me to pass as we now come back towards Steilstrecke. And then it'll be up to the carousel. Take second gear. We've definitely got a very fast Porsche inbound again. Watching the GT3 RS through the carousel. Away we go. Gonna have Wifferman in a second. That was how you do the Wifferman challenge. We've caught back up again with the BMW from France. past the yellow flag just before, well, on Galgenkopf, the last corner, so it would be foolish to boot it away from here. We take it easy, we get ready to join the queue to end the session with the Lotus Emira, my first 3 laps with this car. It's been busy, and I tell you what's quite interesting. I don't know if you'd have ever thought about this. Obviously, I shoot a lot of videos here driving incredibly fast cars. This is more your, let's say, average Nürburgring car. You know, there are plenty of faster cars, Lambos, Porsches, McLarens, etc. And there are obviously lots and lots of slower cars. But when you're driving a car of this performance, you have much more to think about, because there are cars that are catching up with you, there are cars you're catching up with, you have moments where you want to overtake somebody, but there's somebody even faster coming behind you. So you have to think a whole lot more than you do when you're driving a supercar. Then of course you have the additional complication of having a manual gearbox, which gives you even more to have to think about when you're driving than you do otherwise. And to be honest, it just makes it more of a challenge, which in some ways is more rewarding, obviously when you get it right, but also in some ways is a little bit harder at the end of the day. Anyway, 3 laps done, 3 mega laps. We'll now sit in this traffic jam from here, I guess 20 minutes, 25 minutes, until we get back to base over at Apex Nürburg. We are back. That was mega fun. Again, a bit of a queue to exit, and now we need to reinflate tyres and get it all set up again for the journey back home. I'm going to drive the Emira back home after the weekend. We've got a little bit more to do while we're still out here before we do head back, but it's because of how busy it is out there, as you've just seen, that I'm reluctant to take the Zenvo on track this weekend. I don't really want to go for some laps with the Zenvo. It's terrifying to be in that kind of busy, eclectic craziness of all of the cars. The Emira is a very impressive piece of kit, no question about it. It's not quite as fast as a 718 GT4, certainly can tell that in the line, but it's got plenty of poke, it's got incredible levels of grip, the amount of grip. And as we had that little moment where I probably just clipped the curb on the left at the jump, and obviously we kind of took off a bit, the sticky rubber was definitely the key to being saved and being held on, and traction control, etc. as well. I never turn it fully off, just in case, because it's busy, you go offline when you're passing cars. So yeah, seriously impressive, a whole load of fun. Thankfully we're all good and we're back, and yeah, Emira has done its first 3 laps of the Nürburgring Nordschleife here on Easter weekend. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video taking that thing out, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers.